Well, welcome one and all to Bike Racing Without Mercy in a build-up to the UCI Gran Fondo Varesine. But right now, once again, here in Porlock for the 4th time in the last couple of months, taking on the Minehead Cycling Club hill climb events. There's a brace of them, starting right now in the wet, on the hill, then the toll. Time to take the pin out of the water grenade. Let's hit it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go on, Phil, up.
More like pull the pin out of Grandma's sewing box. And cheers to Scott, the Zwifter, for capturing the not quite shock and awe acceleration. You can see him there, taking a day off Zwift in order for his max effort attempt up the toll road a couple of hours later. It did feel a little less pedestrian from the saddle. Here's my POV, I think the Insta crowd would say. Building the momentum at the start and telling the body who's boss. Pre-hill climb event weigh-in. Here we go. About the same as it's been in the last couple of months. Vital statistics, Porlock Hill. 2.6 kilometres, 11% average gradient, but connoisseurs of the steep stuff are treated to a not trivial 600 metres at 17%.
Thank you. Buddy.
As you've seen, I dropped back down to threshold early on in the climb, and that was to conserve energy for the savage 600 metres lurking just beyond this waterfall, Niagara Falls. Come to Porlock, they said. Lovely couple of climbs, they said. Bring a fishing rod, they didn't said. But I love this day out, and a thumbnail, well, it's a little bit of fun, courtesy of Scott, just in time for Halloween. Here, the power and endeavour are simmering nicely, albeit for momentum, well, more challenging. And Scout's honour, this is not a slow-mo. Kindly, the good folk of Minehead Cycling Club refrained from cracking open their carbon dating technology for my ascent. Did I mention it was damp? Pre-event, I'd had a little recce, including out of the saddle on this steep bit in order to assess the wheel spin risk, plus ensure that I was soaked to the bone before the start. Cunning. I actually felt in decent nick and was still conserving a little bit of kick for a couple more of the steep ramps still lurking in the forest. I understand the big boys and girls ride a constant power and then kick for speed on the flatter bits. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that when fitter, but right then it was max effort on the steepest bits and recover a little on the shallower gradients. I should clarify that the Porlock hill climbs came after the Haute Route Dolomites, and that video is taking serious, and I mean serious, time to edit. So apologies for the videos now being out of chronological order. And here is a savage 600 steep hairpin crescendo, worthy of a decent kick, and I was grateful for the stoic support and encouragement in the rain. Rounding the corner, life now gets that little bit more civilised. Certainly not shallow, but easier to digest from the saddle. So time to settle back and luxuriate with a hard but sustainable power. And courtesy of Strava, you can see that my pace on the Savage 600 was in line with my previous best in 2020, and not exactly quick 8.7 kmh, but definitely better than I hoped for, albeit I had a little bit of a wobble as a result of this a bit later on. And at this point in the climb, it's rebuilding, building. And I'm going to use a lot of fast forward throughout the rest of the video so you can see the full climb, or alternatively, move forward to the final half km. And here, literally loving the 34 cassette in the rear as I negotiate the steep right-hander, which leads on to very much more hospitable but exposed terrain. It was good work for me on the first half of the climb. 7 minutes, averaging 321 watts, 10.4 kilometres an hour, and that was better than I'd aimed for at the start of the day. But what the cycling gods giveth, they taketh. And I make the schoolboy error of not kicking onto the easier gradients to first build up the momentum and then comprehensively get dropped by the rider who started 60 seconds after me. And he imperiously sweeps past me and my rapidly imploding confidence. It took a fulsome 180 seconds, averaging 250 watts, to reconstruct to a solid foundation of 270. But persistence pays off, handily just in time to set me up nicely for the final steeper part of the second half of the hill. And I certainly think that these lessons are best learned the hard way. I do love a good rehearsal, and as I alluded to earlier, on the Wednesday prior to this, I had simulated a full-bore 13.5-minute effort with positive split on Zwift, on out the Zwift. So I knew I was good for about 300 watts average on the hill. And as an FYI, after a 30-minute Zwiftish recovery, I also made sure in my rehearsal that from a standing start, I could indeed reboot the diesel engine for a 20-minute toll road effort, holding a consistent 290 watts for about 10 minutes. With my narrative focus back here on the hill climb, this is the final effort to get to the finish of Minehead Cycling Club's Porlock Hill Climb event. As you'll see in a moment, my time, well, it was somewhat slower than Andrew Feather, the winner of the race, or Ed Laverank, number 2, or Illy Gardner, herself a rapid 11 minutes 41 seconds and winner of the women's race. Illy is a quam hunting machine supreme, by the way. Holding the power over the brow. Yep, the hitters would have kicked hard, but I didn't have it. Including the auto pause, my time was 13 minutes 30 seconds on the Wahoo Bolt with average power 301 watts, thereby hitting my rehearsal objective, albeit getting there with a slightly more, well, agricultural execution. My official time though, 13 minutes 37 seconds, not quite sure where the other seconds comes from. I placed 25th out of 38, most of whom also did the toll road, a placing that signifies nothing, yet everything. For whilst I don't subscribe to everybody's a winner, I do subscribe to Arnold Schwarzenegger's mantra, get knocked down 9 times, get back up 10. And that has helped me massively over the last 2 years.
Don't step back.
Wet is not the word, and I failed to hit the play on my GoPro as I started to climb. Schoolboy hour.
I can confirm my waterproof is not waterproof. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
Go.
As always, chaos is my faithful friend, and I forgot to start the camera at the beginning of the toll road climb. So you join me now about a kilometre in, having faffed around to get it going. The climb clocks in at about 6.7 kilometres with a nice even 5.2% average gradient. And my previous PB was 18 minutes 14 seconds at this event back in 2020. But back then, it was helped by a strong tailwind. And as luck would have it, today there was a decent tailwind here in the rain in 23. More than worth getting wet for just for that. I also filmed the toll road from 2 different camera angles as part of my 2020 video, Wild West, Extreme Hill Climbing Sportive, 175 kilometres and 4,000 metres of climbing. It's an amazing part of the world, so check out the video, the link is at the back of this one. Delivering here on my plan for a positive split, 300 watts for the first 2 kilometres, about 6 minutes, in order to build the momentum and the confidence, and once again, feeling decent. I won't narrate as much over this climb. For sure I love it, but it's low drama. This hairpin always feels good to exit, out of the saddle, hounding it towards the toll booth, which is always a little bit further than expected. As you'll see shortly, I also share a moment with hill climbing legend, Mr. Jeff Ware, clad in his full farming gear. I am serious. Alongside the Haute Route Dolomites, this brace of climbs gave me the confidence for a max effort outing a couple of weeks later in the epic UCI Gran Fondo Tre Valli Varesine. Video to come. And there will be no toll payment today. And once again, I managed to get caught by someone with more talent and more speed. The exit from this hairpin is a tad steeper, so once again standing to mash out the wads, making haste towards the tailwind. And here he is, Mr. Jeff Ware, hill climbing royalty, clad in full Wellington boots, farming waterproofs, never knowingly underdressed for an ascent, skin suit, schmin suit. And thanks once again to Scott, the Zwifter, ComHunt TV, and generally many forms of social media. Really appreciate you capturing a moment from an alternative angle. And Scott was fresh from achieving his inspiring goal for 2023. Back in January, he said he'd rebuild his fitness and lose a load of weight, about 10 kilograms, in order to complete the toll road in sub 20 minutes. Today, he delivered 19 minutes and 38 seconds. As you'll see in the Wild West Extreme Hill Climbing Sport E video, should you look at it, it is beautiful at the top of this climb on a clear day. But today, well, it felt mystical, private, and still very special in a Harry Potter kind of way. Now, fast was 14 minutes 12 seconds by men's winner Ed Laverack, or 17 minutes 7 seconds by female winner Illy Gardner. My average power was in line with expectation at 293 watts, a tad better, and my speed a little bit faster, 21.5 kilometers an hour, helped of course by the tailwind. But overall the performance was right up there with my best expectations. My time, 18 minutes and 52 seconds, placing me 23rd out of 57 on the day. Not even a footnote to a footnote in cycling history, yet for me, valuable beyond belief for my own battle, my own rebuild, and the improvement in confidence. As Arnold says, nobody climbs the ladder of success with their hands in their pocket, and this for me was another step upwards.
Nice one. Nice one. The level of shivering is at a peak. Oh, crikey. Thank you.